immediately establishing central control. This pawn push sets the stage for flexible piece development and potential pawn breaks. Establishing a central pawn presence immediately contests the open lines and prepares for piece development. Challenging the center's grip immediately opens avenues for queenside expansion. Solidifying the center and opening a path for the bishop, this response gracefully sidesteps immediate tactical skirmishes. Developing the knight to c3 solidifies control of central squares and prepares for kingside castling, creating a harmonious setup. Preparing for castling, the bishop aims for a quiet post, reinforcing central control without creating immediate tactical fireworks. Developing a knight naturally, this move reinforces the center and prepares for kingside castling, aiming for a harmonious setup. Developing knights harmoniously to active central squares prepares for pawn breaks and consolidates the pawn structure. This pin on the knight immediately pressures black's queenside pawn structure, aiming to disrupt their development and create weaknesses. Securing the monarch is paramount, untangling the king from immediate central threats and preparing for a more active middle game. Solidifying the center and preparing to develop the queen's bishop, this move gently curbs immediate central aggression from black, aiming for a harmonious pawn structure and flexible piece placement. Challenging the bishop's influence on the queen's side is a primary consideration, aiming to break its advantageous diagonal and potentially create weaknesses in white's pawn structure. Relocating the bishop from the active diagonal, this retreats from the immediate pawn threat, potentially repositioning for central control or a queenside maneuver later, while also preparing to defend against any nascent kingside pressure. Expanding queenside to challenge white's central grip, this move prepares to unleash the bishop from its pawn chain, potentially creating counterplay on the queenside or supporting a future c5 advance. Initiating a central pawn exchange here simplifies the position, aiming to exploit the slightly less harmonious development of black's queenside. This decision opens the c-file for white's rook and seeks to create opportunities by disrupting black's pawn structure before its pieces are fully coordinated. It's a strategic gamble to gain initiative on the queenside, potentially leading to a queenside majority if black isn't careful. Embracing the central tension, this knight repositioning immediately challenges white's pawn structure, aiming to unlock the d-file and potentially force a favorable exchange that could lead to a queenside pawn majority. Liberating the bishop from its pawn chain, white seeks to simplify the position and challenge black's central pawn structure, potentially opening lines for his own pieces as the game progresses. Reclaiming the pawn with the queen reshapes the center, establishing a solid pawn structure and preparing for a more active role for the queen, potentially eyeing weaknesses on white's queenside. Exchanging the knight for the pawn clears the d-file, opening a direct line of attack towards black's central pawn structure and potentially creating weaknesses around the king later on. This seemingly simple capture injects dynamism into the center, forcing black to reconsider their pawn formation and defensive setup. Opening the e-file offers an immediate prospect for central pressure, but you've traded a key defender of your king's pawn structure. Consider how this pawn change impacts the long-term integrity of your king's safety, and whether the opened file provides sufficient compensation for the potential weaknesses created. Repositioning the bishop to a more active diagonal, it eyes the queenside and prepares to support potential pawn advances there, while also ensuring its safety from any immediate threats on the central files. Black solidifies their central pawn structure while activating the bishop, preparing to contest the open d-file and potentially reroute the minor piece to a more active square like d7 or c5, depending on white's response, aiming to equalize the development and create counterplay. Securing the monarch behind a formidable pawn shield, this castling maneuver not only bolsters white's king's safety, but also crucially prepares for the eventual opening of the f-file, a potential avenue for future play against black's relatively exposed king position. Unleashing a bold pawn thrust into the center, black instantly challenges white's central pawn majority and seeks to create counterplay on the open files. This dynamic push aims to disrupt white's harmonious development and pry open the position, potentially leading to greater activity for black's pieces, particularly the queen and bishops. It's a declaration of intent to fight for central control and a willingness to enter more complex tactical territory. Prying open the center with this capture immediately alters the pawn's structure, creating potential for swift piece development along the newly opened diagonals. White, by exchanging, aims to accelerate the activation of their remaining pieces, particularly the queen and rook, toward the central battlefield. This action, while seemingly direct, invites a response that will dictate the character of the ensuing middle game, potentially leading to either dynamic exchanges or a more strategic pawn race. Black must carefully consider whether to recapture and maintain symmetry, or to accept a slightly altered pawn formation to gain developmental tempo. Reclaiming the pawn opens up the queen's diagonal and activates your rook, preparing for future pressure on the now weakened c-file and providing a solid structure for your king. The queen now surveys the queen side, eyeing potential penetration, or at least placing pressure on the now vulnerable b6 pawn and the c5 pawn, which may become a target for future advances. The queen's repositioning to b7 aims to challenge the central pawn structure and prepare for potential advances on the queen side, while simultaneously eyeing the weak d5 pawn if it can be adequately defended. Aiming to control the a3-f8 diagonal and potentially pressure black's queenside pawn structure, white repositions the queen to a more active square, eyeing the b6 pawn and the nascent open c-file. This maneuver also prepares for potential future pawn advances on the queen side, such as b3 or a4, further solidifying white's space advantage and restricting black's piece mobility. The queen's shift might also be a prophylactic measure against black's central pawn thrusts, preparing to meet them with tactical counterplay. Bringing the knight to d7 solidifies the d5 pawn and prepares for potential central advances, while simultaneously eyeing squares like c5 and b6 should they become accessible, subtly shifting the strategic focus towards a more dynamic central struggle and away from the queenside pressure white has been attempting. Gaining control of the central files, white repositions the knight to a more active square, preparing to potentially exert pressure on the queenside or even launch an attack down the e-file. Unlocking the queenside and potentially creating a passed pawn on the c-file, this maneuver seeks to activate the queenside majority and challenge white's central structure, even at the cost of weakening the pawn chain slightly. Deploying the knight to d3 aims to bolster the kingside pawn structure, preparing for a potential pawn storm or simply shoring up the defense against any creeping queenside initiative black might be contemplating. This repositioning also opens the g-file, a subtle yet significant shift in potential attacking lines should the center become more static. Launching an immediate pawn thrust, black aggressively challenges white's knight and seeks to expand on the queen side, creating a spatial advantage by advancing past the d5 square. This maneuver aims to lock down the queenside pawns and potentially open lines for black's pieces, while also forcing white to commit their knights to less active squares and potentially weakening the pawn structure around the white king. Unleashing knights to contest the advanced pawn chain, this move aims to dismantle black's central control by forcing exchanges, potentially opening lines for white's pieces and creating a more dynamic middle game. Black ignites a furious battle on the queen side, aiming to rupture white's pawn structure and seize initiative on the open b-file. Anchoring the rook on the b-file prepares a potent queenside initiative, aiming to exploit the slightly backward c-pawn and create imbalances that might lead to tactical opportunities or a positional advantage should the queenside pawns become a target. Unlocking the queenside with the bishop's foray aims to disrupt white's central pawn structure and generate counterplay, though it exposes the d5 pawn to potential harassment. A determined effort to wrestle control of the open d-file. This deployment of the rook signifies a strategic shift, aiming to contest the central open file and pressure black's pawn structure. White is clearly seeking to activate their rooks and create dynamic play, potentially forcing concessions from black in the center. The pressure on the d-file could lead to a pawn weakness for black if they are not careful, or it might simply lead to a pawn race with pieces maneuvering for an advantage. This is a clear signal that white is not content with the current static position and is actively seeking an imbalance. unlocking the queenside with the knight's departure from its passive post, and its journey towards the center or kingside is a prudent endeavor, seeking to re-establish active piece play after a series of exchanges. Preparing to double rooks on the d-file asserts vital central control, eyeing potential weaknesses in black's pawn structure, especially the isolated d5 square should it ever become vulnerable. Aggressively challenging white's central structure, this pawn thrust immediately injects dynamism into the game by attacking the knight and creating a powerful spearhead. It forces white to make a decision about the knight's placement and signals black's intent to seize the initiative on the queenside. However, this bold advance might also expose black's kingside, a crucial vulnerability to consider as the position develops. Seizing the central knight offers a chance to untangle white's pieces and potentially open lines, but black's kingside pawn storm has already created significant spatial pressure, forcing white to remain vigilant. Asserting central presence, the knight reclaims its outpost, aiming to disrupt white's carefully constructed pawn chain and potentially open lines for further attack. Exchanging the bishop for the knight fundamentally alters the pawn structure, creating immediate weaknesses in black's queenside and potentially offering white long-term pressure on the c-file. A risky pawn sacrifice to gain initiative and disrupt white's pawn structure, aiming to activate the knight and potentially create dynamic counterplay on the queenside. Reclaiming the central d-file after the tactical exchanges, white aims to bolster control and prepare for potential advancements. This repositioning of the rook from the cramped third rank to the open d-file signifies a shift in white's strategy. The previous pressure on the queenside has dissipated, and now white looks to consolidate their central influence, anticipating a potential breakthrough or a more robust defensive structure. It's about reinforcing the core of the board, creating a solid foundation from which to launch future plans or to weather any aggressive intentions black might harbor. This subtle maneuver also sets the stage for potentially coordinating rooks and other pieces along the critical central files, enhancing their collective power and posing a more unified threat. A bold tactical gamble, forcing a confrontation by sacrificing a piece for immediate attacking prospects. Here, black has clearly decided that the potential disruption and disarray created by this audacious sacrifice outweigh the material deficit. The knight's sudden intrusion onto e3 immediately targets white's central structure and casts a shadow over the king's defensive arrangement. White must now carefully navigate a complex tactical minefield, calculating lines that could lead to swift retribution or a complete collapse of their position if any defensive misstep is made. It's a fascinating pivot from a more positional struggle to an all-out brawl, where precise calculation and courage are paramount for black to justify the material outlay. Seizing the initiative, white boldly recaptures the pawn, setting up a fascinating imbalance where black's powerful centralized queen now faces an exposed enemy king. This exchange, while sacrificing material, opens lines for a direct assault, forcing black to defend with precision and potentially leading to thrilling tactical skirmishes. A tactical confrontation erupts as black captures the pawn, aiming to disrupt white's central control and open lines for their pieces, particularly the rook on the now active c-file. But this exchange also opens up the possibility of a white pawn push threatening to trap the bishop. Unleashing an aggressive pawn thrust to pry open lines towards black's castled king, aiming to exploit the slightly exposed royal presence after the queen's recent repositioning. Unleashing the rook to the central file, black aims to pierce white's pawn structure and exploit the awkward placement of the knight on e3, potentially forcing a concession or creating dynamic counterplay. A sudden shift in white's attack, aiming to exploit the exposed black king now that the central pawn structure is fractured and the g-file is weakened. The queen retreats, seeking a safer haven from the immediate tactical storm and regrouping to potentially contest the central open files later. Anchoring the queenside pawn structure with b3 aims to solidify white's position against black's central and kingside pressure, while simultaneously preparing to connect the rooks and potentially advance the queenside majority. Reclaiming the central outpost, the bishop steps back, ready to reinforce the pawn chain's integrity and prepare for potential queenside expansion. Unleashing an attacking storm on the kingside is the immediate intent, aiming to shatter black's defenses and open lines towards the vulnerable monarch. This aggressive pawn push sacrifices material, aiming to shatter white's pawn shield and expose the king. This pawn thrust is a bold bid to pry open the kingside, aiming to destabilize black's castled position by creating potential attacking avenues. Seizing the initiative, black's queen embarks on a decisive charge, forcing white's monarch into a precarious position and simultaneously threatening to dismantle white's pawn shield with a devastating discovered attack. Unlocking the kingside by sacrificing a rook to expose black's monarch. The bishop repositions, not to retreat, but to establish a watchful presence on the central diagonal, potentially preparing to swing over to the kingside if white's pawn storm falters, or if an opportunity arises to disrupt the enemy's pawn chain.